We have an amazing time in this building all the time.
Yeah, especially with some community producers.
Absolutely. That door is always swinging with interesting people bringing interesting perspectives from their community right to our building and then out to you guys. So I want to reintroduce you to Denise Hall, the woman behind Clothed with Love.
Thank you.
And Greg Rominski from Victoria Stars. So we're going to start at this end with you, Denise. Clothed with Love. There's a mission and there's a TV show that comes out of that. How'd you blend those two things?
Well, it's interesting because it was birthed out of my own experiences being a teenage mom and knowing the challenges that go along with that.
Yeah.
And my husband and I decided, hey, what can we do to reach back and pull someone else up? You know, knowing what we've gone through, some of the challenges, and how can we help, you know, move it forward and pay it forward. So what we did, we came up with a name, Clothed with Love, and it's exactly what the name says. We're clothing someone with love. We're clothing them with kindness. And when we first started this organization, we started by providing care packages to teenage moms.
Yeah.
And it evolved from there. Obviously, after 12 years, our mission has changed, right? So now we cater to men, women, and children within our community, primarily Bushwick. And we scout out the needs. And not only are we giving them a gift, but we're promoting self-sufficiency within the community. So what we're doing is providing workshops, seminars. We're helping them to help themselves so that they could have a better future tomorrow. And I think that's the key in Clothed with Love.
Yeah.
You know, the partnerships that we have with other organizations. And I think after 12 years, being in one community, we're not leaving. They know us.
12 years is a long time.
It's a long time in a community, and we've had wonderful opportunities to meet the needs of so many, from the young to the not so very young.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that not only is it younger people, but I saw getting people back into the workplace and clothing them and preparing them to go into interviews, I assume.
Yes, and that's part of our workshops. One of our seminars is preparing people back to enter back into the workforce. Some of the key things that they will need to know when writing a resume, something very simple.
So it's about clothing, but it actually sounds broader than...
It's so much broader than that at this moment. We see even our seniors, with the senior centers that have closed down, they have no outlet. So this is where Clothed with Love comes in. And we've had some wonderful opportunities to surprise them. And we've done senior lunches. We've actually held one at the BAM Cafe, and for about 100 seniors.
Wow.
And
What a
we
success.
eat wonderful. And the senior choir, the youngest being about 70 years old.
Rocket,
70 years young, I'm sure.
Yeah, 70 years young. They were the star of the day.
Right.
So we have an opportunity to shed a little love, right? Take their minds off of what might be going on in their own personal lives, just for a moment.
So let's bring Greg into the conversation now. Victoria Stars is a program that features lots of great guests from all over the borough, but I know that you personally, Greg, are on a mission to bring the community into Community Producer.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for having me. It's all the time thrilled to be in the studio, to have this feel of delivering messages. And when I was in a verge to produce my show, to being creative, one day I come up with idea, and I approached Victoria Schneps, who owns 8 newspapers, 4 in Brooklyn and 4 in Queens. And her newspaper, it's a column. It's called Brooklyn Stars. And when I approach her, I'd suggest that we can bring these people in a studio and maybe explore some ordinary people and tell public about them, not only in a newspaper, but also on the television.
So she was your original inspiration for bringing people out and continuing the conversation through television.
And she was actually amazed that I approached her because 10 years ago she had some show in Queens, similar. So I actually hit on the bottom. she was interested, and she became like my movie star. She's so fluent, she's so good in the studio, and last interview was with Marty Markowitz.
I remember.
It was interesting experience, and for me to be in a country of my dream, actually bringing in something very valuable.
Yeah.
But I want to live up to my expectation of to being community producer. That's exactly what I want. I want to produce community news and community media to bring to the table my particular, specifically Russian community.
Yeah,
So-
one of the things I would love to kind of know more about is how BRIC has kind of given you, skills or tools, or what's been the undergirding for your work through BRIC?
Yeah, well, I've been a community producer for about 2 years, working on another project, hopefully for 2014. It was just the fact that it was such a community that I was able to be a part of. BRIC really helped us where we couldn't really find the help outside as a nonprofit organization, but we have this great, organization here where we can learn the skills that we need to produce quality programming that is seen by so many.
So Denise, you're speaking of that quality programming. We actually have a little snippet of the work that you produced here. So let's take a look at Clothed with Love. On my mark. So that was just a little preview of some of the work that happens in-house and out in the field. I know you're over in Bushwick with the folks that make the road on that one. So I'm interested in knowing, what's that process like from having an idea and not really having a background in TV, but what motivates you to get off your couch and say, I don't need to watch TV anymore. I can make some TV. Like, what would you say to people who are sitting at home with an idea right now, being inspired by you two?
I would say, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And what I found for myself, it's a great support. You come to the studio, a lot of people willing to help you, and they are helping you.
Yeah.
And in my case, everybody was around me and helping me out produce very, very valuable and good material.
So would I be right in saying that you don't have to have the idea fully formed, that you can come sort of with a seed and people will kind of help you through thinking about how to produce it?
Yeah, something like that, but you have to have a basic idea, foundation, and then around that, just build up.
So Greg came with the seed, inspired by Victoria Schneps. So let's see how that came to fruition. Check out Victoria Stars.
Добрый день, дорогие друзья! Мы сегодня находимся на Кони-Айленд. И как вы знаете, здесь проживает очень много русскоговорящего населения. И у нас в гостях сегодня Джон Лисянский, который расскажет нам о важности иметь представительство нашей общины в политических кругах.
Прекрасный вопрос. На самом деле очень-очень важно. Мы составляем, наверное, сейчас 4-ю самую большую диаспору этническую. И пришло наше время, на самом деле. Сейчас, опять же, главное продолжать регистрировать людей, продолжать им объяснять, насколько это важно, чтобы они принимали участие в избирании, и чтобы они использовали вот это право, которое им дано в данном случае.
I misspoke a second ago. That was Greg Stars. We saw him out there on the boardwalk in a project we worked on earlier about the elections and the impact on the Russian-speaking community that they had. And that was a great piece, a bilingual piece that you worked on. So it's like bringing your community to the front and letting us in on what's happening there. So you're making bridges, Greg.
Yes, and it was a very thrill project to work on because we have in Russian community now politicians in the office, or at least they run for the office, meaning that we have more and more sounding voice throughout community, and it's great to be part of it.
So what's up next for you guys? What's kind of brewing for you?
Oh, my goodness. We're working on a new show. It's called A Fresh Start, which kind of ties into Clothed with Love. And basically, it's real people with real stories overcoming challenges and sharing that with our viewers and talking about their journey back to a fresh start. So whether it's through education, through some life struggles that they may have gone through, but the idea is at the end of the day, they've experienced a fresh start. So
And
that's coming up.
And is your husband going to help you with that? I know
Absolutely.
Okay, he's part of the crew.
He's
okay,
part of the crew.
It sounds like he's a dedicated member. And what about you?
Oh, I have a crazy idea. I wanna.
Don't give it all.
Right.
Save some of it.
But I would love to bring history to the table, make some connections from probably previous generations who came to the United States maybe even 100 years ago, connect to the real people who has a Russian background or Russian connections. Name a few, Mike Bloomberg. If you go on Wikipedia, you found it. He has a Russian heritage.
Really?
Sergey Brin, Google founder,
Sergey,
right? Right.
yeah.
So I have an idea to try to blend in those people who can tell their story about immigration, about United States to be in home country or second home.
Well,
That
maybe
sounds
I can be one of your subjects. There might be
I
some
would love
Russian
to.
relatives back in the day, Greg. Let's do some digging. Now, Denise, how can folks get in touch with you? I know you've got a URL out there.
Yes, they can contact us through our website at clothedwithlove.org. And if they want to send us an email, they can certainly do that. Clothed
Or
with
donation.
Love. Donation, please, to keep them coming. We also need volunteers, definitely,
Okay.
to help us. So by email, they can reach us at clothedwithlove@yahoo.com. We'd love to hear from them.
Fabulous. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We look forward to hearing more and I'm sure you've inspired people today. So
Yeah,
thank
and if you have been inspired, be like Denise and Greg. Come on down. We've got classes, we've got tools, we've got helpful people who are so ready to help you and welcome you into this phenomenal new facility down in Brooklyn's Cultural District. Brick House is here and it's open, right?
Yes,
And make sure to say hey when you
Yes.
see us and come down.